Amazing that you're all still here. Really surprised and appreciative of that. I hope everything is still interesting. So we don't have that much time left, but we'll try to talk about this thing a little bit more. So I'm really interested in these differences between the meanings of the different tenses in the different languages, which is weird. This is the paradigm of the G stem verb in mehri, mahriyot, no, mehreyet. Yeah, mehreyet. So let's not look at the past now. Maybe we'll look at that later. It's a little bit less confusing and complicated than the future, but the future, as we see, there are 3 moods, no less than 3 moods. That's in all modern South Arabian. There's the indicative imperfect, the subjunctive imperfect or subjunctive, and the conditional. So and we can see this beautiful dual system, no less than 4 dual forms for verbs, both or third person feminine dual, third person masculine dual, second person dual, first person dual. Very exotic. So as I think we've already established, the imperfect in modern South Arabian is just like the imperfect in Ethio-Semitic and just like the derivative in Akkadian. So just like iparas, ekutib, tekutib, teketib, yakutib, tekutib. So this is kind of weird because I can see the prefixes. They're pretty much right. Also nice that the third feminine plural has taf, just like in Hebrew. I like that. But the endings are quite weird. Does anyone want to say anything about the endings here? Because there's a lot to say, really. Anything? So we would expect an E here, like we can see it in the subjunctive, tikteb, tiktebi, but we cannot see it in the imperfect. Instead of something like tekuteb, tekutebi, like tiparas, tiparasi or something like that, we have tekuteb, teketeb, which is weird and must be a result of some kind of vowel harmony or something like that. Is that clear? I like that in all Semitic languages, or I think maybe almost all of them, the second masculine singular and the third feminine singular are the same form, which is nice. Never mind that. If we look at the plural, we can also see some weird stuff. So the dual, okay, the dual has a as or a historical suffix, which makes sense, just like in Arabic, just like in Akkadian. Probably turn into o, but kind of looks the same. But if we look at the plural, so nekuteb is regular, but then where we would expect something like tekutebu, we have tkitbim and yikitbim instead of like tiparasu, iparasu. In the feminine, we have tkitbin, tkitbin. Once again, the same form for the second feminine and third feminine plural, with the nun in the end, which is unlike Ethio-Semitic and Akkadian, and like Central Semitic, which is interesting because modern South Arabian is not Central Semitic. And And the mem, yeah, the mem instead of the ooh, yeah.
So, I mean, in the third masculine plural, I mean, the meme that could be a variant of the noon, because meme and noon they do vary, alternate with the memation, nunation. So that could be a remnant of a una.
Could be. I don't know. I
But
don't.
and also like the first common plural, or even like the first common singular, they have that long vowel between the first and second radical, right? Akuteb,
Yeah,
or expect like aktob or yiktob or
yeah. It's not like iktob.
The mem also reminds me of I forget which one it is. It's one of the possessive suffixes in Punic, specifically, not Phoenician in general, has acquired a mem at the end of it, which,
Wow.
from what I remember, there's a suggestion there that it developed from an earlier off glide that nasalized.
Ah,
So there's a potential link there that we got an ooh, which oohs are like was,
yeah,
and then so
that's
it
very interesting.
yeah.
That could be. I don't know.
What what I could imagine too is if you have like the M and compare it to the Arabic una, you could have the N change to an M in the next to the labial U, and
Mhm.
then the N could just be na maybe.
Yeah, that's what Matthew proposed. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it makes a lot of sense. I don't know. I really don't know. It's also weird because at least in this verb in the past we have ktaub instead of ktabu, but in some of the verbs we have like rikab, rikbim. Like the past in the third masculine plural is also with an M in the end. So that's also weird. There's a lot of weird and interesting peculiarities about modern South Arabian in general, and it's not that well understood. So there's a lot of work to do still. And we will finish with looking at the subjunctive and the conditional. I think they can be, you can see quite easily that they must be connected, these two forms. So conditional, the conditional is in general thought to be derived from the subjunctive. So um so we can see that this is just with an added N. And I think most of the other languages don't really have a conditional with an N ending. So it is generally not thought to be inherited, but I don't know. It's kind of weird what happened to the dual. I granted, like اكتبوه اكتبين, very interesting. Maybe a hint to an earlier yud here. I don't know. And also a very interesting aspect here is the L in the first person, both dual and singular, yeah, which reminds me of something. Does anyone want to say anything that it reminds him of?
I mean, the precative and
Exactly, the precative in Akkadian and also the precative in Old Aramaic, maybe, and also in I think Tigray, or at least some of the northern Ethio-Semitic languages also have this lamed in some of the persons, which is very, very interesting and could be connected. Other than that, I don't think that there's more to say about that at the moment. Is there any question or any, I don't know, thing you're wondering about or want clarification regarding or anything at all? Well, anyway, you can feel free, of course, and I will send you once again. Yes, Matthew.
I mean, it's about Arabic and the diacritics that are used on those on the letters in light of what we saw today. So, say so you have diacritics, say for so you have ayin, right, which we believe, I guess, would be a pharyngeal voice pharyngeal fricative, and
Yeah,
then ayin with a dot, that's ghain, which should
yeah,
then be a voiced uvular fricative.
correct.
And then with the h letter, right? I guess h by itself should be the voiceless, I guess, pharyngeal.
Yep,
And then you add the dot, I guess that should be the voiceless uvular fricative.
correct.
Wait, does that make sense? I think that was, maybe
Yeah.
that does, I thought somehow there was some weird,
No, nothing weird about it, but it's of course the dots are not in any way related to the etymology or the pronunciation. They're just the modification that the Arabs made to the Aramaic alphabet in order to add the consonants that they had and the Arameans did not.
yeah,
Uh,
they did. Oh, I guess it's because in other places where you add that you do have the dot or not add the dot, like the ta. No, I guess there it's also never mind. I guess it's the same principle, right? They just found the nearest thing, even though
Yes,
it doesn't
yes, nearest thing, and many times the thing that it has merged into in Aramaic, for example, the ta. I will send you again the presentation and the recordings, and if there's anything else, please don't hesitate to write to me. And I enjoyed very much. Thank you so much, all of you, for coming today, and I will see you next week.